Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with an episode of Lattes with Laura. If you are new here and you have no idea what I'm on about, then Lattes with Laura is my Q&A series. I ask you guys to ask me some questions over on my Instagram page and I answer them for you here. We basically have a big old Sunday chinwag. I love the word chinwag. So the rule of Lattes with Laura is that you guys watching must have a coffee. If you don't like coffee, you can have a tea if you want. Nice decaf latte is what I have. You can hear the ice ringing on the glass. It's just music to my ears. I will just mention that there are some pregnancy related questions and infertility related questions. So if you check down below and along the bar of this video, you can see the different chapters and I've linked which questions. So if you want to skip those ones, please do feel free. Okay, so the first question is, how do you not let other people's opinions get you down? And I thought this was a really interesting question because I, for one, have always been quite a sensitive person, like very sensitive, especially when I was younger. Like if someone said something to me that was quite negative about me, then it would really affect my confidence and it would get me down. However, I feel like with age, I've definitely grown out of that, and I feel like that happens to quite a few people. I feel like as you grow up, you kind of don't really care what people think of you as much, and being on the internet has definitely helped with that as well, because obviously I do occasionally get the odd comment that I'm like, oh, that's a bit below the belt, but to be honest, I think I'm 34 almost, and I'm confident in my own skin to a degree, and I think that now if someone had an opinion of me that maybe wasn't something that I liked, then I would probably just not speak to that person again, or just voice my concerns to that person if they weren't someone that I could kind of cut out of my life. I think that we go through life thinking that we make friends and we have to be friends forever, and that's definitely not the case. Like if someone says something to you that upsets you, or they're, constantly toxic towards you, you definitely don't have to be friends with that person. And it can be the same with family members as well. So I think it's just being strong in your own skin, being strong in who you are and appreciating who you are and loving you for yourself. Sometimes other voices and other people then can't break into that barrier. And I think it takes a long time, maybe it does take, a lot of horrible opinions to happen to you, where you get to that point where you're like, you know what? Just see you later, I don't care what you think, I am who I am. And yeah, it's just a level of confidence, I guess. So I would say that is my kind of advice on that one. I know it's easier said than done, but I do definitely think that, if someone is negative towards you, makes you feel negative about yourself, they are not for you, sister. Cut them out of your life. Someone has said, is your house your forever home, or do you see yourself moving in the future? To be honest, moving into this house was so stressful 5 years ago that I'm still not over it, so I still am not ready to move. We've done a lot to this house and we still have things that we want to do to this house as well. We want to do some kind of knocking walls downstairs and things like that. So I'm not going to say it's my absolute forever house, because I don't think that anyone can really say that, because who actually knows. I'm really happy here. It's a perfect house for us right now. Yeah, we'd love a little bit more land and a little bit more space around us, but we look out onto the front of our house and there is just woodland for miles, which is perfect. And yeah, there's so many plus points about this house that at the moment we're very happy here. With houses, someone has also asked, how do you remodel your house? Are you doing it yourself? Do you have any advice? So everything in this house pretty much we have done DIY, apart from the bits and bobs that we can't do. So the ensuite, for instance, we had to get plumbers in to do that, and things like that we haven't done. However, I will say that on YouTube, it is crazy the amount of kind of creators that just go into a house and just completely gut it and do it in one go and then move in and it's all done. Like, that is not real life to me. I feel like DIY is a big part of buying a house for normal people. Normal people probably can't move into a house and just completely gut it and revamp it in, half a year and then move in. That wasn't realistic for us. We have done everything ourselves pretty much, like I said. We've painted ourselves, we've picked things ourselves, we've paid for things ourselves, and yeah, everything in this house has been done with love and stress. What is your ideal 3-course meal? And I thought this was really interesting because actually my ideal 3-course meal would just be anything to do with like Chinese food, Thai food. Like I love like egg fried rice and noodles and spring rolls and like, well, chicken balls, but I can't eat them because I'm gluten-free. But a lot of like noodly things. Rice is my favourite. Yeah, just basically like Chinese food, but probably English Chinese food. I haven't ever been to China and actually had Chinese food, so English Chinese food at the moment. Who knows, maybe one day I will go to China and try proper Chinese food. Dream holiday destination, 100% the Maldives. Like, who wouldn't want to go to the Maldives? Be on an island, nothing to do, just chilling, the sea, the pool, a little hut on the beach or on the sea. The Maldives, 100%. Okay, another question. How have you dealt with someone not understanding your fertility struggles? I think over time you realise how little people do actually know about infertility. First, you can get quite offended by people when they don't understand or they say the wrong thing, or you just feel like a complete alien in a world of people that can have children normally and happily and easily and whatever. But I think over time, especially over the 5 years, I started to realise that actually if you haven't gone through it yourself personally, how can you ever have any understanding of it? And I always felt like my job or my kind of role was to educate people in that way and educate people to how they should respond to someone when they are going through infertility, which is why I set up justbadluck.co.uk, which is my infertility support website. I do also have a podcast which I need to start uploading on, but I'm a bit slack on that, but there are a few episodes on the website. But yeah, Just Bad Luck for me was just a way of just saying, look, it's okay if you don't understand or you don't know what to say, but here's a website where you can go onto it, research stuff, read posts from people and get an understanding. Because before I had a miscarriage, I had never ever come across anyone personally in my life that had gone through infertility or miscarriage apart from one friend, and even then I just didn't know what to say to her. I didn't know the right things to do, and I think that it's quite a stressful environment for friends to be involved in when they haven't experienced it. I think that it's really easy when you're in the depths of infertility to get really offended by things because you are so angry, and it's almost like those people take the brunt of your anger. But I do think sometimes if you just step back and think, okay, this person has no idea what I'm going through, I'm going to try and educate them, send them links to websites, send them, you know, articles, and then if they choose to read them, they are a great person. Is there anything about lockdown that you miss? Yes, just like I'm such a homebody. I love being at home, and I really enjoyed being at home and not having that kind of fear of missing out because everyone was at home. It was such a weird time, and I obviously would never go back to COVID times or lockdown times, but it was so crazy and bizarre that every single person that you knew, pretty much apart from key workers, were at home. Like, I found that bizarre, and I kind of enjoyed it in a little way. Okay, so next question is, how many kids would you ideally like to have? This is a really strange question for me to answer because obviously my journey to being a mum and having children hasn't been the simplest. I mean, I'm 6 months pregnant now, but I feel like I have been pregnant for 5 years. Honestly, I've been pregnant 4 times in 5 years, now the 5th time, and it just, with IVF and everything, it just feels like it's gone on forever. So at the moment, whilst I am obviously over the moon and keeping my fingers crossed that this is it for us, I'm not sure really how many children I want to have. Before infertility, I probably would have said 2 or 3. But after infertility and after IVF and miscarriage and loss and all the pain and trauma that brings, and even being pregnant after loss, it's so different for me compared to someone that hasn't gone through any sort of loss or infertility. I'm not sure, and I think that's one thing that I'm just gonna not put pressure on myself. I'm just gonna see what happens. You know, me and Chris will just see how the family dynamics work, and maybe 1 is all that we'll have. I'm not gonna get my hopes up to have another baby because it might not happen. I'm just so grateful to even have 1. And obviously I have Bernie as well, who I do count as my child. He is a child. Dogs are children, I'm telling you. So here's my fluffy baby anyway. So technically I have two, but one's just a bit more fluffy. Well, hopefully the dog is the more fluffy one. Okay, so we have products of the week, which is a little segment within Lattes with Laura. So I actually have two products that I want to show you that I've been absolutely loving recently. So the first one is this, and if you watch my vlogs you will have seen a little before and after of this. I'll link that down below and on the screen so you can go and check it. But this is the Ouroboros Super BB cream, and oh my god guys, I am in love with this product. Like, I've even emailed them and said like, this product is just saving my life. So it's basically like a lighter version of a foundation. However, I've got loads of like CC creams, BB creams, because I do prefer to wear those. This is just a little bit like higher coverage than those, I would say. So it is more like a foundation, but when you put it on, it doesn't feel like cakey. It feels really smooth on the skin. It's almost like you have nothing on your skin, but it just covers everything perfectly. Like the under eye bags, gone. And yeah, it's just a really great product. I just really love it, and I can't explain how good it is to you without you using it, so it's really difficult. The next product is something that I am back into, and this is my Got To Be Glued Blasting Freeze hairspray. I stopped using this for a while. I think it kept making me sneeze for some reason, so I stopped using it, but I needed it back in my life, and it just keeps your curls in so well. It keeps updos in really well, you know, wedding hair, anything, especially in like heat or on holiday. It's just the perfect hairspray. How much do you love your mum? A lot, mum. Thanks for asking again. Okay, so we have a few more kind of baby related questions. When did you start prepping your nursery? We waited for a little while to do the nursery, but we'd already put a new carpet and painted it because it was our spare room, and we actually painted it and put the carpet in quite a long time ago. Like, I want to say like last year, not because it was going to be a nursery, but just because it was just a messy spare room. We wanted it to be a nice little spare room, so that was already done, which was really handy. But we did wait quite a long time to start kind of buying things. I would say when we got to the 20-week scan, we definitely felt a little bit more comfortable and kind of a bit safer to start buying things, but even now it's still a little bit like but yeah, I would say that like 80% of the nursery is done. We've got all the big things in there. We've got a cot and a wardrobe. We just need to put some little bits on the wall. I'm actually doing a cross stitch at the moment, which is really lovely for me because I feel like cross stitch just completely got me through IVF. So to do a cross stitch for a baby's room just feels insane. So that is going to be going up in there. But yeah, you would have seen a little clip of the baby's room a few vlogs back as well. So if you haven't watched those and you want to see what the baby's room is looking like, then go back and watch those. But yeah, I would say 20 weeks was kind of the point where we felt a little bit more comfortable. Have you picked your pram and big items for the baby yet? Congrats again. Thank you so much. Yes, I actually had my pram delivered yesterday. I had picked one, and do you know what? It worked out crazy that I have been getting PR emails from Silver Cross for 5 years, and I actually emailed them a little while ago and said, you know, it's crazy, I've been getting PR emails from you for 5 years and putting them into a folder, not reading them, just putting them into a folder and thinking like, come on, one day hopefully I'll be able to go through these emails and see all their products and what they've got, and it won't be too triggering for me. And obviously they saw that email and they kindly sent me the pram and the car seat that I had been looking at, which I feel so lucky and so privileged. But it was just such a moment for me to email them after such a long time of like hiding their emails and saving them for another day. So I do have a Silver Cross car seat and a microlight pram, but I will be doing a little unboxing of those over on my Instagram, so if you do want to see those, then check those out. But of course I'll be kind of showing you those in the vlogs as well. Okay, so the last question is, how do you stay motivated in a job you don't enjoy? Now this is really hard actually, and I've definitely had jobs in the past that I don't enjoy, and I know how hard it is to stay motivated, and usually the only way to kind of pick myself up personally and get back into being motivated and inspired is to look for a new job and, I don't know, find a new job that maybe ticks all the boxes a little bit more. But even now, I love my job and what I do. Like, content creation is such a great job for me, and I'm so lucky to do it. And I also work with my husband Chris as a wedding photographer, and that is just great as well. But sometimes I do lack my motivation, like even working for myself. Sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, oh, like what am I going to do today? I can't be bothered, I don't want to do it, I've got no inspiration. And I think as humans, you can't constantly work and be motivated and inspired all the time. However, I think there's a difference between being unmotivated in your job and unhappy. And I think if you're unhappy in your job and you really hate it and it's just not what you want with your life, and you are able to look for something else, then I definitely think that that's a sign that maybe you need to look for something else that maybe you're going to enjoy more. However, again, if that's not an option and you don't want a new job at the moment, or for whatever reason you can't get a new job at the moment, maybe speak to your team members and say, look, I'm feeling really unmotivated, like I need a new task, a new kind of something to focus on in this role. I think that again, it's like, especially as like British people and humans in general, don't always feel like they can talk to people truthfully about how they're feeling if it is a negative thing. So I definitely think that, yeah, talking helps, telling people how you feel, and if that doesn't solve anything, then maybe looking for something new would be good as well. But making sure as well when you go home you have time to do stuff that you want to do. You're not like thinking about work too much. But yeah, I hope that helps. So guys, that is Lattes with Laura done. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. If you want to be involved in the next Lattes with Laura and you have a question you'd like to ask, then please do pop over to my Instagram. Once I'm filming a video, I'll put a little questions box up and you can ask me a question. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed your coffees and your biscuits and maybe your tea if you're not a coffee drinker. I haven't drunk mine, so I'm gonna go and edit this video, drink me a decaf latte and have a very hot, sweltery day. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks guys, bye!